Hello, 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 dreamers. Perla here. As always, thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. So, this is going to be on the cusp weekly messages. So, all of my lovely, beautiful cusp signs, this is yours. So, we're going to begin with Aries, Taurus, cusp. There is an energy here of somebody that someone tried to break you, or someone tried to embarrass you in some shape or form, and I'm just laughing about it because it's like, do they not know who you are? Do they not know like what you have overcome? Do they not know all the trials and tribulations that you've been through in life? And they honestly think that with a couple of words, because that's what I'm picking up, a couple of words, they're going to break you. It's almost kind of this energy of like somebody really telling on themselves, really telling on who they really are, and like their actual character. And you're just sitting here just kind of you're just sitting here kind of like laughing, like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, are you serious? You really thought that that was going to work? You really thought that that was going to bring me down to my knees? Because that's really the energy that I'm picking up. Wanted to somebody wanted to forcefully humble you, is what I'm picking up, because you have been on the uppity ups. You have been you have either been growing or evolving at a rate that somebody feels is not fair. Somebody feels like you're either getting ahead in life or you're getting ahead, career wise or spiritually, and they seem to be under the impression that it's not fair that you're getting ahead this quickly. So somebody wanted to humble you, wanted to bring you down to your knees, and all that they could do was talk about a version of you that no longer exists. They're talking about a version of you that hasn't existed for a very long time. And the only reason that is because this person doesn't have access to the version of you that you are today. So they do not really know how much you have actually overcome, and they don't know like the work that you've put in, not just spiritually but physically, into yourself. And because of that, they're under this illusion that the wins that you're having are just pure luck, and that it's not fair that you're having all of these wins. So let's go ahead and let's pull out a closing message for Aries, Taurus. Oh God. So we have two cards that came out, and I am going to take both of them because we have the number 63, the winter's dream, gestation period. And then we have the benefactor, grace and generosity, number 3. I feel that for a very long time, a lot of you guys were in the space of, it was almost kind of like you were waiting to come out, you were waiting to blossom, you were waiting for your time to show up into the world, for you were waiting for it to be your time. And it is your time, and you shouldn't allow anybody try to pull you away from this. You shouldn't allow anybody to try to pull you, because I really do feel this energy of like, you are under this grace, you are under this generosity, when it comes to spirit, because of the work that you have put in. Because during those times when you were pulled to doing work, to addressing things, to integrating your shadows and things like that, you didn't run away. You actually showed up and did the work. And you should be great. You should be in a place, you should be in a place of gratitude towards spirit, that the guidance that was given to you has brought you to this place that you are now in your life. And when it comes to this individual that is trying to humble you, or that is trying to bring you down to your knees, to be honest with you, you don't even have to address this energy. I feel like your entire spiritual team is taking care of that individual. Taurus, Gemini, cusp. There's somebody. Oh, I don't like this. Okay. There's somebody within there's somebody that you're close to, or somebody that is within your inner circle or something like that, that is trying to project their reality onto you. You guys may have had similar situations, or may have had a similar upbringing or something of that matter. The difference here is that to you chose to write your story not from a victim mentality, but from like a survivor one. And however, that's if that's going to trigger somebody, I'm not here to censor myself in that way, is what I should say. But it's the reality of it. Some of us, some people never escape the victim mentality. And the longer that you stay in that space, the longer you're going to align with situations that continue to have you in that vibration. And you're realizing this in regards to someone that you keep in your inner circle, or someone that you connect with on a day-to-day basis, or someone that you're very close to. And you're realizing that there are boundaries that you're going to have to set, and that you're going to have to be very adamant about keeping when it comes to connecting, or even having like a simple conversation with this person. Because again, they're almost telling you that there is no way that you healed from something because they haven't been able to. There's no way that that is not triggering you anymore because it's still triggering them. So again, there is this projection that wants to be made onto you, that you're being made aware of, and you're being asked to set the boundaries that need to be set, and do not allow yourself to be pulled into someone else's game. We have the crown games, right use of power, right? Whenever you're playing a game, the games usually come with accountability and responsibilities, right? And unfortunately, there is somebody that is playing a game where there is no accountability, there is no growth, and they're trying to pull you into their reality. They're trying to pull you into that frequency where there is no accountability, and where somebody is always a victim in something. This is an energy that you had to do a lot of work to get yourself out of the victim mentality. And what I mean by that is not that you were not a victim within a situation. You were. You whether this was your childhood, whether this is a past relationship, this shared experience, or whatever it is that you had with someone, was very much where you were in a position of a victim, right? Somebody took advantage of you in some type of way, but you chose to rise from that. You chose to integrate that part of yourself into who you are, because you didn't want to stay within that space. And this individual that is showing up around you, this energetic energy that they're bringing, is like they're trying to pull you back into the space of hopelessness. They want to they want to drag you down with them. It is very much bringing that saying when people say misery loves company. This person wants you with them in their misery, even though you have outgrown that space. Gemini, Cancer, cusp. Gemini, Cancer, cusp. I don't know what is it that you're running to or what you're running away from. For though, regardless of whether you're running to something or you're running away from someone, you need to pause and you need to take a breather. Why are you even running? Why are you even running? Whatever, regardless of the situation, whatever the situation, you should always be standing your ground. There should be no one in this world that should make you want to run to something or run away from something. Just letting you know, babe. There's somebody here that is trying to use some type of intimidating tactic towards you, or something of that matter, and you're not wanting to confront this person, maybe because you feel that confronting them is a waste of time. When we talk about energetic fields, there are energies that need to be confronted, and you have to learn how to play by the rules of the frequencies that you're in, right? The more that you try to ignore something, or the more that you try to run away from something by running to something else, the longer you continue with the chase of something, right? So there is an energy here that you need to face, whether it is um whether okay, we're going to use this as an example because it's coming through. It's like some of you have an energy of a lack mentality, and trying to run away from this lack mentality, you're trying to listen to like affirmations or meditations of abundance or whatever, but every time you listen to it, there's something that is happening physically where the message is not landing. And the message is not landing because you have yet to accept the fact, or not acknowledge the fact, that there is a lack mentality built within you. Excuse me. And unless you address the fact that something exists, right, in order to, excuse me, whoosh, in order to shift a perspective, or in order to shift an energy within you, you have to first acknowledge that something exists. You have to feel it. You have to, and again, it's going to be different from different people. This can be a process of a couple of minutes. This can be a process of a couple of hours. This can be a process of a couple of days or weeks, depending on where it is that you are at energetically, where it is that you are your with your spiritual journey, right? And but there is this sense where when we try to avoid something completely, is going to continue on showing up. And when it shows up, it comes up in a more forceful, like, look at me type of energy. And that's kind of like the energy that I'm picking up here, where where some of you are trying to, again, run away from something, or trying to not acknowledge that something lives within a space. And it's funny because as your closing message, we have the number 62. We have will of the wisp. Will of the wisp, treasure hidden within the shadows. When we confront these shadow spaces, when we see them, when we meet them where they are, when we acknowledge what it is or how it is that they work, how it is that they how it is that they manifest in our lives, then we're able to transform, transmute that energy, that space into what it is that we want, right? A lot of the times these energies are just filling up spaces, or they're taking up spaces in our lives because they don't have a direct focus of where it is that they're supposed to be going. So for those of you that are trying to move away from a lack mentality, you first have to acknowledge that the lack mentality is there. And I always say this, excuse me, there are an abundance of tools that you can use. But the reality of it, listening to your intuition, listening to your direct connection with spirit is always going to be your best advice. So like if I, let's say when I first started doing guided meditations, I had a very hard time with the wording that was being used. And I'm like, okay, this is a tool that I feel that I can really use to help shift certain dialogues within me. But the words that these people are using are just not landing. They're just not in alignment with how it is that I'm shifting out of this, right? So what I started to do was that I started to record myself using different vocabularies, using different words that were still going to get me the end result that I wanted. And I would record myself, and then instead of listening to someone else's guided meditations, I was listening to mine. And then eventually those, I would outgrow those words and I would re-record myself with other words. And then it would get to a place where I could listen to someone's other people's meditations that had words that in the past my energetic field couldn't align to. So this is about taking the tools that you have and personalizing them to your use, to your growth, so that you're not constantly running away from something by running to something else, but instead you are addressing what is coming up at that given moment in time. Okay. Cancer, Leo, cusp, there is an energy of frustration here of having to go. Do I really have to go through this again? Do I really have to explain this again? There seems to be this mode of repetition within an environment. Now, whether this is at work or within your personal life, there's something that seems very repetitive. Like you're constantly repeating yourself. You're constantly trying to get someone to see to like the truth of something, or trying to get someone to see the reality of something, but all it's doing is really getting you frustrated because you sound like a broken record. You sound like a broken record. Like if this is at work, you have been telling your boss or whoever supervises you that certain things need to be implemented, certain things are outdated. If this is like in your home, and this is in regards to relationship, it's like some of you are like, okay, I've expressed my needs in this relationship. Like I want more quality time, I want more us, like, dates, I want more this, I want more that, I need more help, I need this, I need whatever, and however you want to word it. And whoever gets triggered about like, well, you shouldn't want, you shouldn't need, love is unconditional. In my opinion, love is unconditional, but relationships are not, right? There's always something that somebody is going to need or feel that they need when it comes to a connection, whether it is a romantic or platonic relationship. Now you take that however you may, and you can feel however you want in regards to that statement, but that is the reality, right? So like if you're partnering up with a job, right, the job is going to require you to do certain things in order for you to get paid, right? You want to get paid, so you are going to abide what it is that is needed within that work relationship. And that's kind of like how you have to start looking at life. Some of you have been quiet for way too long, not saying the things that you want or the things that you need in relationships, and then by the time you go ahead and you say it, it almost feels like all you're doing is repeating yourself because the other person is not cooperating. The other person is not, it's not even a hint because you're saying it. There's no hinting here. They're just choosing not to listen. And for those of you that this is at work, this is a situation where maybe people that are working underneath you, people that you supervise, etc., are not, they're just not following through, and you're going to have to make a choice. whether to continue on having these people in your life or to cut them off. We have a number 37 as your closing message, the Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. So there has to come a point where you are confident enough in making decisions, even if that means cutting somebody out, even if that means walking away from situations, because again, at this point, you sound like a broken record and nothing is changing. And nothing is changing because honestly, whoever this person is, and I'm sorry to say it, especially if it's someone that you are romantically in love with, this person doesn't really give two shits. They really don't care. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but they really don't care. They have their own. Oof. And like as I'm picking it up, it's like, like how Santa Claus carries his big bag red of gifts, right? This endless gift bag, right? There's like this endless amount of gifts in this bag. This person, and I see them carrying this big black bag of trauma, this big black bag of shadow that they have not even peeked into that bag to see what's in there. So what it is that you are wanting out of someone, they honestly cannot give you because they cannot even face their own shadows, my love. They can't face their own shadows. They can't show up for themselves, let alone for you. Leo Virgo cusp. Leo Virgo cusp, there is, I keep on seeing like a broken key. And it is showing like a skull key and it's broken. And for a lot of you, this is symbolizing a betrayal. Someone betrayed your trust. Someone betrayed your trust in a way that if you had to guess, like let's say if you were to be given three names, like Mary, Laura, and Samantha, Mary, Laura, Samantha, you have said it was Mary or Laura, never Samantha. And Samantha was the one that actually did the act, or was the one that actually talked, or whatever it was. So the one person you thought would have never betrayed you was the one person that actually betrayed you. And right now, you're sitting in the space where you're wanting to cut everyone off. You're wanting to go into the secluded space of healing from this betrayal. Now, I am all for solitude when it comes to healing and etc. Some things are meant to be healed in solitude, some things are meant to be healed with other people, like through the experiences of other people. For a lot of you, this urgency or this need to isolate yourself is coming from that place of needing to heal from this alone, or like in solitude. But what I want you to do as you're doing this is, instead of cutting everybody off, I mean, Samantha cut Samantha off, right? Obviously, she betrayed you. And that's just an example name, guys. Don't go ahead like unfriending all the Samanthas that you know. Um, but I would say with other people in your life, I would just set better boundaries, because I feel that what is happening here is that you tend to cross your own boundaries when it comes to people that you feel that you can trust, or people that you feel that are in it the same way that you are. And a lot of the times that comes at the cost of you ignoring your intuition, because this is not the first time that this person, again, you're just using the name Samantha, betrays you, but it's the first time that you find out about it. And the sad thing here is that now that this betrayal came out, all the other betrayals are going to come out as well. We have the gathering around, the power of community. So again, I am inviting you that as you're healing from this, as you're taking your solitude and everything like that, don't go cutting every single person out of your life. Instead, learn to set boundaries, because there's nothing wrong with healing from a space, but still having community, still having people around you that you can talk to, that you can lean on, and etc. Don't shut everybody out of your life. Virgo, Libra, cusp, right? Yeah, that's where we're at. Virgo, Libra, cusp. Um, I need you to slow down a little this week, making sure that one, you're staying hydrated, and two, please, 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 please do not give into the binge eating. Do not give into the overconsumption, whether this is food, social media, TV, or etc. There's something that is going to an extreme here, and it's coming in as an avoidance. Um, there is this thing of like waking up with some type of For some of you, you're waking up with some type of fear. And in order to avoid whenever that sensation comes up, you overconsume either food or like food, TV, anything to try to distract you from that energy. Instead, I want you to see what it would feel like to hold that space for that fear. Something as simple, and again, these are just tools. You can go ahead and figure out what works for you, but something as like sitting down, taking a couple of deep breaths, focusing on where it is that you're feeling that fear. You can imagine, excuse me, that you can imagine that you're covering that fear with like unconditional love. See how it is that it wants to move. See if it is that it wants to move. Does it want to be released, or does it want to dig you deeper into the memory that that fear is attached to? Or is this simply a projection of someone else or someone that you have been connecting with? um that is where your attention should be this week. So if you're having any type of like fear or anxiety or worry or whatever, I want you, obviously, like if it's safe for you to do, to take a moment, sit down, take a couple of deep breaths and meet the feeling. Meet it. Breathe into it and allow it to show you what it wants to show you. A lot of the times we're so afraid of the unknown, of what we're going to find within a space. But when we learn to practice of meeting these energies, these emotions, these feelings where they are, the truth of what they really are is not the idea that we have of them. So as your closing message, we have the number 39, the meat tucks, repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Okay. So for some of you, maybe setting some boundaries, maybe setting some rules when it comes to like, okay, when this feeling comes up, instead of eating, instead of watching TV, instead of this, I'm gonna put meditation music for 10 minutes and I'm gonna ground just to feel or just to see what it is, right? I'm not asking you to force anything, but I'm also asking you to meet it and not to run away from it, because you have been running away from this sensation for a very long time. And what I am picking up here is that there's some type of breakthrough that is coming through, and every time that you're at the brick of like of the brain, whatever, the little ooh of that breakthrough, this sensation comes up and kind of like pulls you back. Not anymore. Let's meet it. Libra, Scorpio, cusp. Something smells sweet, something smells delicious, something smells um oh my god, what is that word that I'm looking for? It's not infatuated, is I can't think, the word just left me. But there is an aroma, there's a smell that is drawing you towards something. um and it's going to be funny because I feel that for a lot of you, this smell is connected to some type of opportunity. Now whether this opportunity comes in like finance, like financial, career, like your physically or relationship wise, is going to be different, but there is a distinct smell to it. Does that make sense? Right. So like, and it's almost kind of like this sweet like floral smell is what I'm picking up. um it's okay, it's almost kind of like this scent of like rose, how like the rose water smells, right? But it's also like a sweet like brown sugar appley smell. I don't know why, guys, like, do not come at me. That is a smell that is like the smell that is drawing you guys towards something. So there may have been there might be something this week that is revealed to you guys through like a dream or through a meditation, and very quickly, like when something is revealed, like, okay, this is coming your way, and there's a smell that comes with it, connected with it. And when it's happening in the 3D, you're going to smell the same exact thing that showed up in a dream or that showed up in a meditation. So this week, really pay attention to the smells that are coming up that seem to be coming out of nowhere, if that makes sense, right? So like, there is no reason why, if you are at work and let's say you are a mechanic, that you should be smelling rose water and like apple crisp type of smell, right? Because you should be smelling oil and whatever it is, like, car oil and all of this other stuff, right? But then it's like, and it's very subtle and it happens very quickly, if that makes any sense. Okay. So what is the closing message for Libra, Scorpio? Mhm. So we have the sky bridge, the possibility for union. So again, something is coming together, something is finally happening, and it is coming in with a distinct smell. And I don't know why it keeps coming up that way. So it's like when you smell it, you know that this is coming, right? So if this is like a new career opportunity, if this is a new relationship, whatever it is, it's like the minute you smell it, you're like, ooh, This is what's coming. And like for those of you that this is going to resonate, you know exactly what it is I'm talking about. There's something in your life that you're trying to come into alignment with, right? And let's look at that smell as the bridge, right, between you and that frequency that you're trying to get into. Scorpio Sagittarius cusp. Scorpio Sagittarius cusp, you're burning some bridges with some people, and these bridges that you're burning is they're overdue. They're overdue. There is this sense here that a lot of you knew that you needed to disconnect or separate yourself from certain people, and you were waiting for the holidays to be over. You were waiting for a time period to be over in order to walk away, or in order to completely break to burn these bridges between you and these individuals. And there is there is this sense of like giving yourself enough time to mourn something. Just because we're burning bridges, just because we're walking away from people, from situations, doesn't mean that we don't mourn. You can mourn the version of yourself that you were where you were in those situations. You can mourn the version of yourself that allows certain people to take advantage of you, certain people to use you, etc. We mourn it. We don't blame it. We don't attack it. We see that who that version of ourselves that allow those things, it happened for a reason. There was a reason. There were things that we were learning. It was a process of our growth that was happening in that timeline. So allow yourself to mourn the walking away, the bridges that you're burning with people, the closing door, completion. These cycles are done with. These cycles are done. These individuals are not going to be a part of your life moving forward. um they will remain as the season in your life where you needed to learn, the season in your life where you needed to learn to listen to your own intuition, and the season in your life where you should have put yourself first, where you should have been a little bit more selfish. Sagittarius Capricorn cusp. Something with the upcoming full moon. I do not know when the next full moon is, because I am doing these ahead of time. But there's something about the next full moon and looking at it. Don't come at me. A lot of you are heavily, and I know that we are all connected to the moon energy, but some people are more connected to the moon, some more people are more connected to the sun energy. There's something about the moon energy that you should be utilizing to manifest. And what I mean by that is like you don't necessarily have to wait for a specific moon cycle to be in alignment in order for you to manifest that specific thing, right? So it's more of like I keep on seeing this thing of like looking up at the moon and having a conversation with the moon as you would with a friend, is what I'm picking up. There is this sense of like, again, you're not utilizing, or you haven't been utilizing the tools that are available to you, and one of those tools is manifesting through the moon energy. um Manifesting through the moon energy, manifesting through the moon energy is what keeps coming up. So for you guys, this week is more about like the spiritual aspect, and of the tools that a lot of you sometimes do not use, even though they are readily there for you. So we have the gathering around, which is the power of community. And then in the bottom of the deck, as I went to like flip it over, it says the moon maiden, new beginnings. There is this combination that if you start to live your life, like your daily life, um, from your spirit, things in life start to change for you very fast. You start to come into alignment, not just with situation, but with people that are meant to help you along your path, that are meant to help you evolve, not just spiritually, but also financially. And again, there's something here about the moon energy, the moon spirit helping you through that process. Capricorn Aquarius cusp. Ooh. you guys are you guys are in possession of information that can ruin someone's lifestyle, whether this is someone's like marriage or someone's work or whatever, and you are wondering whether to come out with this information anonymously or with your name attached to it. There is no question about whether you're going to reveal this information. You just don't want to, you're just trying to figure out, like, do I take credit for this or do I just do it silently? um you're being asked you're not gonna like this. If you 100% feel that you need to do this or you need to say this, I would do it anonymously. I would do it anonymously. um because there is a sense that even though you are outing someone out, you're outing our situation, you are going to be, it's like the person is going to be more mad at you than the situation or what is being outed, if that makes any sense. So let's put it this way: if what you're outing out is to help like a friend or a family member or whatever, there is a high chance that by you bringing something to this friend or to this family member's attention, they're going to turn against you instead of realizing that you have been trying to help them or you were trying to help them see that they were being deceived or whatever. Now, if you don't care about losing this person out of your life, then yeah, you can go ahead and say, this is what it is, and use your name, or let the person know that it's you. If you feel like a part of you wants to be there for that person, you want to be there to help them through this, then outing something out anonymously is going to be your best bet. Regardless of anything, this person is going to go, whoever it is that you're outing something to, is going to go down this road of blaming the person that outed something out instead of what is being outed, right? So if this is in regards to like a relationship or something like that, like let's say you find out your sister's husband is cheating or whatever, the person is going to be more mad at you for outing out the fact that their significant other was cheating than the fact that their significant other was cheating. So here we have, which is kind of funny that this card came out, then we have the number 33, the joyful muse, the inspiration. So you're going to have to really dig in deep and see, is outing this out because you're tired, you don't want this person to continue on being um lied to, cheated on, etc., or is this bringing some type of satisfaction to you? Like, sometimes we have effed up like relationships with like siblings or friends or whatever, and that's where I want you to dig into, like, what is the inspiration behind outing something out? Is it really because you can't keep seeing somebody being taken advantage of, or is this for like a personal satisfaction? We have Aquarius, Pisces, cusp. um you're looking at something, and again guys, I sit on a stability ball, so the extra noise, and I have dogs and she wants to be walking around right now. There something that you sorry, like yawning here, there's something that you created or something that you're presenting to the world, and you're looking at it with this pride and joy. So I'm going to use an example of something like that I just did, right? um I just made an apple crisp, like completely vegan and gluten free or whatever. And I took it out of the oven and I'm like admiring how beautiful and how well put together it looks. And I am fantasizing of like how amazing it's going to taste, right? Because hello, I made it. So, it's going to be good. And I've made it before. It's a very simple recipe. But it's kind of like that. You're looking at something that you're presenting, or you're looking at something that you created, and you're taking joy in kind of like gloating about it. And there's nothing wrong with it, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, enjoy your wins, enjoy your accomplishments, right? Like for me, my little win for today was making that apple crisp, right? And there's nothing wrong with me gloating about it, like to myself, or just being like, oh, look how pretty it looks, right? um because sometimes we forget to celebrate our own wins, we forget to celebrate the little things, and when we immerse ourselves into celebrating the little things in life, the day to day and things like that, we start to shift our perspective in the reality of this 3D life, right? And how it is that we choose to move forward in life. So whatever it is that you have created, like, I don't give a damn. You may have just sewn your first pillow, your first blanket, whatever, crochet your first blanket or whatever it is, and it's like you're just like so proud of something that you've created. And I love that. I love that for you. Like, enjoy it, embrace it, celebrate it. Regardless of how small you may think an accomplishment is, I want you to celebrate it. All right. Hold on. Because it keeps going more than. All right. So this card has come out a lot between you guys and the regular zodiacs. It's the Crown Games, right use of power, number 8. So there for you guys, there is this sense like when you realize that shifting your perspective on the little things trickle down and expand, or let's say bleed out into the bigger things in life. So the more that you celebrate the little things, the more it is that you're going to be able to celebrate and savor the bigger accomplishments as they come into your life. And I really like that shift in perspective, that shift that you're having during this time, that is allowing you to celebrate something. Pisces, Aries, cusp, you're checking out this week. You're checking out either from a romantic relationship, or you're checking out at work. Some of you are needing a break or are needing a separation from some type of environment, from a person. There is a sense of like, you're just like, you know what, there is not much more that I can give of myself without feeling completely defeated or completely depleted. And you're checking out in order to reevaluate whether or not it is worth staying within a situation, whether this is work or personal life. The sacrifices made to keep something going or to keep something doesn't feel like it's worth it anymore. The parts of yourself that you have to keep saying no to in order to show up for someone, in order to show up in an environment, doesn't seem worth it anymore. Something is like mentally and like spiritually draining you on a day-to-day basis. Again, whether this is a relationship or this is work, something's got to give, something's got to change. You're checking out this week to reevaluate what it is that you're going to do. Galactic mushroom, the divine matrix, number 24. You see how it is, how it's peeping up from there? There has to be more to life than this, is what you're telling yourself. There has to be more to life than this, is what you're saying to yourself. There has to be more to life than this struggle to just barely stay above water. And again, guys, I'm reading these intuitively, like what I'm picking up from them, not what the book says. This is the book if you guys are wanting to look up the full meaning of the card. But there is this sense of like, those sacrifices that you have made, or those sacrifices that you're still making, it's not worth the reality that you're living in this moment in time. Well, guys, that is all I have. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all.